I used to think that self-love is about running yourself bubble baths and taking yourself out for solo dates, but it is more than that. Loving yourself is about forgiving yourself, first of all, for your mistakes, and understanding that if you were to go back there, you would probably make the same decisions because that is what you knew back then. And self-love is about accepting yourself. It's about accepting yourself with your flaws. It's about accepting your past. It's about loving that little girl who was vulnerable, that little girl who needed acceptance, that little girl who needed love. It's about accepting that, not trying to bury that little girl. It's about being grateful for that little you who needed so much love from the people around. It is about facing yourself, and I'm not gonna lie, facing yourself is not easy, but it's about that. It's about when you're on those solo dates or those solo trips, facing yourself. I remember for the longest time I was so scared of doing the cruise because I was like, what if I get tired of being on my own and I start falling apart and I start crying in the middle of the ocean? But self-love is about that. It is about loving your weaknesses. It's about loving the scary parts. It's about loving the shadow parts. It's about just knowing that you're not perfect, you're not gonna be perfect, and you're not supposed to be perfect. It's about being grateful for who you are, loving who you are, being grateful for who you have been, and looking forward to who you are going to become. It's about being responsible for yourself. It's about taking chances. It's about making mistakes. It's about falling and picking yourself up. I can go on and on and on, but I think it's really important that you love yourself. It's very important that you work on that. It's very important that you spend time on your own. I remember after a toxic relationship that I was in, it was really difficult for me. I could not even go to the mall without thinking that people are staring at me and thinking, oh my god, this loser is alone. Like, to be honest, ever since I started dating when I was 19, I have never been alone for a very long time until now in my 30s. So being able to be on my own by choice because I'm not willing to settle for less, and also just getting to know myself, getting to know what do I like, what makes me smile, is not easy, but it is worth it. Actually, self-love is also about waking up early to do meditation or waking up early to pray, even though you know that you want to continue sleeping, even though you know that it is difficult. It is about telling yourself that I am worthy of waking up early for myself. I'm worthy of being a priority to myself. I am worthy of waking up early for, because I think most of the time we want people to do things for us, not knowing that we are failing to do those things for us in the first place, for ourselves in the first place. So this is a journey. It is not easy, but it is worth it. And I think right now I'm in a happy place. I'm in a place where I love my playlist and I'm not ashamed. I love my routine. I love the books that I read. I love the things that I'm obsessed about, like my body and going to gym. I love my quirks. I love the way I laugh. I love the way I sound. I love my sense of humor. And at the end of the day, you need to accept yourself. You need to love yourself before you can expect that from anyone. And also, I think another thing that I have actually noticed is that most of us, we always want to be in a relationship because we're looking for something. And when you start being aware, you start to realize that the things that you are looking for, you're already getting them, but you're not getting them from the person that you would love to get them from. For an example, if you want to go for dinner dates, you probably are going for dinner dates with your sister, with your brother, with your friends, or just on your own. But because you're not going with your love of your life, you feel like that is not good enough. If you want love, there is your family that loves you so much, and then there is you who is capable of loving yourself more than any person can ever love you. And what's nice about loving yourself is that you know your love language, you know what you like, you know what you can tolerate. So just be honest with yourself, love yourself, be with yourself, take chances, and I promise you, you are going to be so proud of yourself. When I look back from when I started my self-love journey, I am so proud. I am so proud of myself because I have been through a lot, and there are times that are really difficult where you just want to say yes to any Tom, Dick, and Harry, but in those moments, that is where you need to remind yourself that you are worthy of more. That is where you need to remind yourself that if you want God to bless you with a Ferrari, but your garage is always full because of that Toyota Yaris that you don't even want anymore, that is just there blocking your blessings, you need to remind yourself that what you're looking for, it's going to be worth the wait. It's going to be worth the wait. And actually, this reminds me of something that was said by my pastor, Pastor Chris, about how an elephant carries the calf for 22 months. I honestly didn't know about this. I still need to go and Google, because what, I didn't know that there are animals that carry more than human beings. We're not animals, but get my point, that human beings, they carry the baby for 9 months. I didn't know that elephants carry for 22 months. So he was telling a story about how a dog was mocking the elephant, saying that, look at me, I have popped puppies 3 times already, and you haven't popped even one baby. And the elephant was like, no, that is because I am carrying a calf, so I need 22 months for that. So what he was saying was, when your blessings are big, you need to allow time for those. You need to tell yourself, remind yourself that my blessings are bigger, so they're not just gonna take for an example 3 months to come to fruition. I'm gonna need to wait, I'm gonna need to be patient, I'm going to need to trust God, I'm going to need to keep reminding myself that I am at the right place, and I am where I am supposed to be. Okay, I hope this helps. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think, and have a great day. I love you. Goodbye.